Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. It's time for another episode of The Last Rip, the series where Monday through Friday after the stock market closes, we take a look at the top 10 Nasdaq and NYSE gainers list and do a little analyzation and see if we can find any stocks that might be ripping the next day. So let's not waste any time and hop right in here. So right away at the top, we got BRST. This OTC stock, nothing really going on with it other than it looks like somebody came in and bought a little bit here. This was barely any volume, and it went all the way up to 375, but crazy move that nobody would ever trade. Just weird manipulation of the OTC markets. Looks like we have another one, kind of the same deal. Nothing really going on with this stock, just another OTC that slipped in the top 10% Nasdaq gainer list, saying it's up 87%, but no volume there, 10,000, that's it. Next we got Clov. Now, Clov is interesting because AMC was been the meme stock that's being pushed all week. And AMC, if you look at it today, had a nice pullback. It's still bullish, it's still above all indicators, but it's not ripping as fast as I think a lot of people on social media would like. I'm seeing comments and stuff everywhere that says, are we giving up on AMC? What happened to AMC? Why did everybody switch to Clov? And this is one of the problems when you have these social media hype stocks. And like I've been saying, there's always a price. So people are going to get left in the dust. Now, this was a pretty decent drop here from $60 to 53, actually even lower, down to 52 on AMC. Clov is the next plan I guess they've orchestrated, and it went on a pretty nice run from 15 all the way up at 24 at one point. Now this could be the start of another AMC type-ish move with these retail traders, but looking at social media, I'm seeing a lot scrambling around. Plus we had a pretty decent correction in the crypto market again, and some buyers are going to go there because their favorite crypto plays are getting cheaper again. There's always a price, whether it's up or down, that buyers will come in, buyers will become sellers and sell, sellers will become buyers, all of that. There's always a price somewhere, and it looks like AMC may be going to slow down a little bit while some of these other meme stocks start to move. So maybe we can catch some trades on them. I don't know. We'll see. But Clov pretty much running because of that. The next one on the list is NEXT. And if you joined me in the live stream this morning, then you saw me trade this and do something really, really dumb. Really, really dumb. NEXT had a nice pop yesterday. It started popping again today. You can see right here on the 15-minute where I got in 70 shares at 535. And then I actually sold 10 shares at 581, 10 shares at 593. The stock went all the way up to 613 before pulling back. I put a stop loss in, but I only put it for 10 shares. I had 50 shares left after these two sales, and I put it in for 10 shares. For some reason, it's not showing here, but you can see it on the live stream from this morning. My stop loss got hit while I was on the phone and taking a little breather from the live stream, and then the stock dropped some more down to this low 481. And at that point, I had not realized until I came back on the live stream seeing that I only put 10 shares in for the order like an idiot. Well, in my dumbness, it somehow is paying off for me at the moment. NEXT actually held above the 20-day all day on the 15-minute chart and is still holding it in after hours. So at this point, I'm just going to hold it overnight and see what happens in the morning. It's got the same kind of bullish move that we're looking at with Clov. Actually, damn near same pattern. So if Clov runs tomorrow, we could see NEXT. Maybe NEXT is becoming one of their favorites, the Reddit traders' favorites, but it actually had some PR. Some analysts upgraded it. Like I said before, analysts' price targets and all of that don't really mean anything, but some people follow them. So we'll see what happens with this tomorrow, but you can see I'm up a little bit of profit on this at the moment. Next on the list, we got ASTS, no PR, 50 million shares, so little float, 20 million in volume. and this thing ran from $8 up to $14. So we're seeing a pretty hot stock market in the small to mid caps pretty consistently now. It's been all last week and now 2 days into this week, so this could continue. And it looks like Wish is trading higher amid increased retail investor interest in the stock, getting pushed up by social media traders. And this is how disorganized these groups of social media traders are. Some of them jump from AMC over to Clov, probably over to NEXT by looking at it, and some have apparently came over to Wish. So they can't even stay focused on one stock for a very long time. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. AEHL, nothing going on there as far as PR. And it's made a nice little pop up, but it crossed over on the daily chart, 20 crossing over the 50 and the 100. And it's moved from 323 up to 480 and just kind of went sideways the rest of the day. Had some early morning buying volume there at market open and pretty much died off. But it's holding its gains. Pretty low float, only 4.5 million in float in shares there. So I'm actually going to put that on the watch list for tomorrow, and I'm going to throw Clov on there. So CYCN is next on the list. They had the CEO reported a purchase of 800 something thousand shares at a price of $328. When you've got a CEO or a CFO or somebody with some big money with inside the company buying a bunch of shares, that is usually a good thing because they don't want to lose their money. And if they're confident in their company that they'll put their money into their company, more often than not, that turns out leading to some big profits for that company because probably that CEO already knows what's happening. And you can see from this PR, it got a nice rip up from 350-ish area all the way up to 440. So it is above the 50 and the 100 day. This is a pretty low float one too. I'm going to put it on the watch list for tomorrow. This is just how this week and last week has been. There's been so many different quick pop-ups and some big runs and some all-day runners. We're getting a little bit of everything at the moment in the market. And next we got Lots. They don't have any news either. They're basically getting some hype from other vehicle stocks that have been moving. I know we've seen EV stocks. I haven't seen but maybe one other automotive one that I know of. But it's kind of in that consumer discretionary stock moving. So just another one of those. But they're doing good. And once you see them above the indicators on the daily, you can pretty much take a trade. And as long as they stay above that 20-day, then they'll just keep running up like this. So possible swinging day trades out of these. Last on the list, oh boy. If you've been trading since last year in 2020, then you might remember the chaos of Kodak, the little camera company. Well, when this stock gets going, it can get going. And it has started to heat up a little bit here in the last couple of days, building some momentum, pushing the 20 over all three EMAs and making a very nice move today from 8 to 11. So, this is more than likely social media hype. Let's see. So, something about the CEO tweeting, that was a few days ago. Yeah, interest in the stock from retail investors. That's pretty much the excuse they're using for anything that runs that doesn't have a real reason to run. And it could be very true. So, I don't know. It's another one that we could keep on watch to see if retail investors are going to continue to push it up or not. But like I said, they're so spread out right now. It's really hard to tell which stocks are going to continue to run and which ones are not. So on to the NYSE. We've got IHT just still pushing up. Big bullish move on this. Very low float, 8 million in shares. Ran from about 858 up to 1477. Above all indicators on the daily, above all indicators on the 15-minute. Just a bullish low float stock just running for whatever reason. Could be a pump and dump, but it has been getting some nice buying over the last couple of weeks to get it up to this point. The 20 is a ways away off that 50-day, so I'm not going to put this on my watch list, but I think this will probably have a pullback more likely tomorrow than it will a push up. Next, we got WEN, which is Wendy's. They're saying this is Wall Street Bets pushing up Wendy's. Wendy's does pay out a little bit of dividend. I do not invest or trade retail or restaurant companies like this. I guess Wall Street bets, they like some Wendy's. They like them spicy fire chicken nuggets or whatever. But I'm definitely not going to even look at this. The IPW, another one of those consumer stocks, getting a big move up. So we're seeing the same thing. Any consumer stocks are getting pushed up, getting a lot of love. AHT, Jim Cramer tweets, his stock is another virtuous meme circle. And that gave this thing some hype. So now we have TV analysts pushing the whole narrative of these meme stocks, and they're getting pushes up in the market. So I don't know. But when mainstream media like Jim Cramer or MSNBC or Fox News or any of those places start covering this stuff, it's usually when the institutions are making their final moves before they shut down the shenanigans. So it's also drawn a lot of attention from the SEC. The SEC is not liking what these groups of people are doing, but they can't really do much about it at the moment. But it could and more than likely will lead to regulations that is going to hurt us all in the long run. But maybe not. Who knows? So next we got GBS. It got a little pop up. To me, it just looks like there's not really any PR on it that's worth anything, but it just looks like it got really low. I mean, it just hit a low a year at 245, so this just looks like some investor buying, catching it at these really cheap prices. So EH trading higher after the successful completion of unmanned trial flights of the company's autonomous aerial vehicle. So this was one I was talking about the other day. And you can see this one is still ripping all the way from 34 up to 40. Like I said, this is a very interesting stock. Flying autonomous vehicles is pretty cutting edge, so there's a lot of possibility that this stock could get up to some high prices, and it's done it before. You can see on the daily it was all the way up at 130. So this may be an interesting one to keep an eye on. I think I probably will keep a really close eye on it. So we got TSP next. They got a big jump in Q2 earnings, and that led to some nice moves up. About 200 million in shares. This looks like it's a newer IPO or something back in April, and it's now above the IPO price. So this is bullish. You can see the 20-day crossing over all the EMAs. It is kind of stuck right there with the 200, but if it pushes up any at all tomorrow, it'll be a cross over the 200. So if you like that type of play, there's definitely some opportunity there. RHE, no news. Another pop up. It just looks like it bounced off of the 20-day here. It had a nice pop above the 20-day, little consolidation pullback day, and then another bounce up. Decent move there, but this is a hot market where you're seeing this many gainers, this many stocks that are up, especially a lot of them with no news. So you got to be taking these opportunities when you can get them, because the market could slow down again at any time. Next, we have FUV, and this was one of the EV stocks, I think. Yeah, so they just opened a rental center in Eugene, Oregon, and they're going to be added to the Russell 2000 and Russell 3000 indexes. So anytime you have a stock moving into one of those indexes, that index is going to basically be buying some of it, and you get a push up. This was all the way up at 36, but this is, once again, like I've been saying, these EV stocks we got to keep on watch too, because they're starting to get a lot of attention. Now, last one on the list is COE. That's one of them Asian ADRs. Looks like it had a big sell-off, just having a little bounce there from the huge sell-off, little dead cat bounce. Nothing really on that, no volume. All of this momentum that we've had the last week and a half still could easily go away. The market did push for another high today, but the highs that it's pushed for lately, it's really struggling to push. And we are now in the tip of this consolidation triangle. So tomorrow will be an interesting day. I would say tomorrow or Thursday, we're going to see the SPY either push up and test that 424, maybe even up to 430, or it's going to crack below 420 and probably drop to 415, 412. But I do not think we're going to keep doing the sideways movement that we have been doing. So if this cracks, you could see, and this is kind of my prediction, I'm predicting this again to happen. I predicted it back in January or February when GameStop was all the hype in the stock market. I had that video on it that says why GameStop will never work. You can go check that out if you haven't seen it. But at the time that GameStop was really in its height, kind of where AMC is and these other stocks at the moment, cryptos had a big drop. And I ignored all of those hype stocks and went over to cryptos where there were some good deals. This is happening again at the same exact time as the media is picking up all these stories of Clov and AMC. It's the same exact thing, and the cryptos have dropped. So we see the stock market pull back tomorrow. I think you will see the money of these retail traders that's pushing all this up leave out of here and run back to cryptos, because cryptos are pretty cheap right now. I have bought some up in these lows that we had in the crypto market this morning. And I rarely make actual predictions unless I'm very confident in it. But because this is the exact same setup and history tends to repeat itself, I think that is what is going to happen. I think we're going to see history in the short term repeat itself. All the hype that's on these meme stocks is going to leave from the market as soon as the market starts dropping and go back to the meme coins in the crypto world and the good projects that get pushed up. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, what you think about my prediction. If you think I'm on point with it, maybe I'm going to be wrong this time. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just, making the best educated guess that I can. We'll be back in the morning for some more live stream day trading, so come join us and see what happens with the swing trade on NEXT. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.